AA was not something, Narcotics Anonymous, not something that everybody knew about. It was a very small club. And it was like, she would go away for months at a time to a sanitarium, come back healthy, but a little bit heavier. With her body type, which is not really like mine, she had a really tiny little hair and long legs. And so if she gained 2 pounds, it really showed on her. Some movies you can see she's like a little bit fat in one thing and then not fat in the next one. And so they were always, making her take those pills so she would come back clean, but with that extra 5 pounds. And they were like, you can't shoot the film. What is she going to do?
In those days, Ritalin was a diet medicine of choice. They gave her that like candy to anyone who wanted.
They didn't think about consequences. Right.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm at KUCI 88.9 FM.
Hi.
Yes, and you are?
I'm Gigi Bermingham.
Great. Oh, yeah. And can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm an actor. I live in Pasadena, California. I'm married, and I'm currently in a play at International City Theater Long Beach called End of the Rainbow, in which I play Judy Garland at the end of her life.
I saw the play, and I thought it was very good.
Oh, good. Well, thank you.
What do you think of Judy Garland's life? Do you think of it as a tragedy, or do you think
she always said, when people would say, I'm sorry for all the tragedies in your life, and she would laugh it off and say, I have a wonderful life, especially when she had her children around her, towards the end of her life. She just adored her children. She'd had a mother who, how shall I say, according to all the biographies, didn't treat her lovingly and controlled her and manipulated her and even gave her pills to keep her going for the studio to make her movies. But when she had her own children and when she had loving relationships, which did work sometimes in her life, she was surrounded by people who loved her. That made all the difference to her. So she had some very happy moments, and she would have argued that she had a beautiful, wonderful life, not a tragic life. It was tragic by our standards because she was a drug addict, and that killed her. And she's not the first star that this has happened to. It's the Michael Jackson syndrome. It's the problem of having people around you who are always going to be willing to give you what you want because you're such a huge star. People want to make you happy. They want to participate in your life in whatever way they can, and that was the tragedy in her life, was that she couldn't escape her own stardom, I think.
I actually worked at 3 movie studios, and I remember I was at lunch with some of the executives and some of the stars. The topic actually came up. Someone just blurted out, why do you think so many stars are on drugs? Is it the lifestyle, or is it that basically as a serious artist you should be suffering? What would you comment if that topic came up?
Well, my own opinion about that is that the artistic sensibility is one of sensitivity. I mean, you are a hypersensitive person, so you're more vulnerable to criticism. You're more vulnerable to worrying about the state of the world. You're just vulnerable. So that type of personality would be more prone to need something, an external thing that changes how you feel. You want to relax once in a while, so you take a drink or you take a pill. It makes sense to me that the artistic sensibility would be the one that becomes addicted, because it's hard to live with the discomfort of being oversensitive. It's just a hard thing to do. And Ethan Hawke was on a talk show recently. Who was it? I'm forgetting his name. And he said that it comes at a cost. Being a performer, being an actor, being an entertainer, there's a great cost to you psychically. And I think that's also why many of us turn to alcohol and drugs. It's just you want to get off the train once in a while, and sometimes you can't.
Okay, I have a friend who's the father of a child prodigy. Okay, it's me, okay? My son's a child prodigy. I look at Judy Garland's life. Her parents forced her. They drugged her.
Yeah.
What kind of advice can you give me in regard to that?
Come out.
What kind of a prodigy?
He's a piano. He's a musical prodigy. He's piano. He plays. He's 6 years old and he played Beethoven's Ninth Symphony.
That's amazing. Well, that's a great gift, and of course you want to encourage him and work him hard and all those things. And the only advice would be just to have a little balance in his life. His life is not going to be balanced because he's going to be spending so much of his time doing that beautiful thing that he does, much more than other kids will be out, doing whatever. But some time to just completely forget about it. Some normal time with other kids. Some time where you just let him be a sloth. Some time where you drag him away from it if he can't help himself from doing it. If he becomes a workaholic, which he may well do because he'll be in love with his art. Force him away from it. Force him to have some normalcy in his life, because if he doesn't establish it now, then he will have trouble later, and he will be unhappy because he won't have relationships. Lots of stuff can happen if you don't have some balance in your life.
Also, my theater show, I cover theater. I cover 80% of all theater, the bottom 80%. Community theater, non-equity, some equity like this one here. Some of my listeners, some of the people I interview, they have been acting in theater since they were 5, and they've been working for 15 years. They don't get paid anything. What kind of advice can you give them?
Where they just had a camera sitting there for over a year.
What are they doing?
They're community theater. So they do community theater, acting since they were 5. They've been singing, acting since they were 5.
Are they enjoying it?
They love it.
Then what's the problem? What is the problem? Is it about money, or is it about doing something that you love? If you want to be an amateur and do what you love, that is a wonderful, wonderful thing. It's a whole other thing to decide it's going to be your profession, to pursue it professionally. Then you enter the big bad world of the business of entertainment. I encourage people, if they enjoy it and they get satisfaction from doing amateur productions, why would you force yourself into the big bad business world where your opportunities will be slim, competition will be great, and it's a lot of challenges that I don't know what it's like in the amateur world, but I'm assuming that hopefully it's a lot more fun, laughs, and the pressure isn't there because it's not about making a lot of money, right? So have fun and do it.
One last question then.
Yeah.
They also tell me, all the people I interview, you have to do this because you love it, because they can never pay you enough money if you don't love this. If you ever stop loving this, you should get out of it. Do you think Judy Garland should have listened to that?
I think she tried to get out, but she started performing at the age of 2, and it was so much a part of her. It was her gift to the world. Her gift was sharing her abilities, her musical abilities, her acting abilities, and with that, and I think she just, she needed to share that, but in order to do it, she had to be in an environment that was toxic to her. That was the problem. She couldn't get off the train.
Thank you very much for being on the show.
My pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.